Hello, everyone.
Hmm.
Hey, Saurabh. Hey, Taz. Hello, everyone. Hello,
Uh,
everyone who's joined in. Yeah. Can someone confirm in the comments if I'm audible and if you can hear me, Taz, Saurabh? Hi, Yuvraj. Hi, Faith. Hi, John.
yeah,
Yeah, still waiting for someone to confirm. Yeah, Jean says sounds great. Tarun says yes. Yes, audible. Gaurav, thank you. Shaunak, yeah. So it looks like we are live and everyone can hear us. So yeah, I think we can get started. Thank you everyone for being patient. I know we are a couple of minutes late. It's just getting things sorted so that you can have like a good experience and everything was in place and looks like that's the case. So yeah, I mean, welcome to a brand new episode of Packed Expert Insight. I'm going to be hosting today's event and I have Saurabh and Taz with me. Uh, I think we can start off with a quick introduction. Saurabh, do you want to do the honors, please?
yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Saurabh and glad to be here talking to everyone. And I work in Amazon Web Services since past 8 years, and I based on the Seattle. And I'm author of the Solutions Architect Handbook and AWS for Solutions Architect, which we are going to talk about. And throughout my career, I helped a lot of people to develop their career in solution architect and switch their career to solutions architect. And that's what inspired myself to share my knowledge with the community and get maximum out of it. So thanks for joining and listening today.
Yeah, thanks, Saurabh. Special thanks for doing this again. You take time off your busy schedule to author books, talk to the community. So that goes to show how much you care, sharing knowledge, sharing your wisdom, and also learning and growing with the community. So thanks for taking the time. Over to Taz, who's also here from AWS and who's worked with alongside Saurabh and co-authors to support us in this new book. So hi Taz, a quick introduction from you.
Sure. Thank you, Rahul. Hey, everyone. Good morning. I'm Taz. Just like Saurabh, I've been with AWS for a little over 7 years now, completed 7 last year, and been a co-author with this book with something in mind. My current role over the past few years, I've had the opportunity to work with essays and subject matter experts across AWS, and happy to bring some of that sharing knowledge over here. People, if you have questions around how essays function, what are the expectations from essay, how you can go from a good to a fantastic essay. So happy to answer those questions. Happy to share some of the experience that we have collected over the years. Been in the industry for about close to 22 years, specialized mostly in the data analytics space, but have come along with other domains as well. So, all in all, happy to be here. Thank you, Rahul. Looking forward.
Perfect. Thanks Taz. And as you can see, we have LinkedIn users and people from different part of the world confirming that everything looks and sounds good. So sounds good I was expecting, but when they're saying it's looking good, then we know it's all good. Hopefully it stays that way. All right. So here's how we're going to go about it. As you can see in the ticker below, uh, there's going to be a special giveaway. Two lucky winners. You get a chance to uh, win an ebook of the book that Saurabh and Taz have, crafted, spent nights burning the midnight lamp and creating a great resource for you, which is going to help you become a successful solutions architect. And yeah, we'll do it midway through the session and also one towards the end. So excited for that. Uh, I don't know if Saurabh and Taz are feeling very excited. We might also get them to choose another ebook, which is something that was not scripted. But if we have great questions coming in from you through the sessions, one of you get a special chance to win another e-copy, which is the third a special ebook that I'm just adding in so that you get a chance to engage with experts who've taken the time to share their knowledge with all of us. So yeah, I think without further ado, we can get on with it. Um, oh, questions are already starting to come in, so that's
Mhm.
great. Uh, I'll take the privilege and kick off with a question of my own. I have a bunch of questions that I've curated, looking at some of the frequently asked questions that we get from our Discord community, from the AWS community. So yeah, I think we can get started with it. The first question is, what are the key strategies and best practices for designing highly scalable and available architecture on AWS? Now, this is something that I see a lot of people struggling with. So it would be good if Saurabh, Taz, one of you could share your insights on this.
Sure. I can take that one. Saurabh, if you're okay.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Sure. All right. So before I even answer that question, just to have a little bit of context around what it means being an SA for a cloud environment. So essentially, SAs at a very high level uh, go in two different directions, either a breadth or a depth. Now, cloud technologies and even technologies in general span a pretty vast amount of technologies. So within AWS, especially, and I'll stay in context of AWS, we have essays who either focus on breadth and or focus on depth. So, or by that, what I mean is we have essays who specialize in certain domains of the cloud technology. So, like for example, I myself, I tend to focus more on big data and analytics. There are essays that focus on databases, essays that focus on networking, storage. And then we have essays that focus more on the breadth side of things. So the level of complexity which they cover in breadth is lower than what you would expect in depth. However, the scope of the domains that they cover is higher. With that being said, when we talk about scalability and availability architectures, it's uh, both these roles, whether you are breadth or you are depth, this is part of the foundation that makes you a good SI. Being able to cover the technologies and the architectures that allow you to build applications that follow these patterns is across the whichever specialist essay or a breadth essay or a depth essay. And more specific to the question, when you talk about what can you do around strategies when you're thinking about building applications that are highly scalable and available, there's a few things that come to mind over here. One is obviously that is very native to clouds and not so much on the on-premise or the hybrid model is auto scaling. So this is where cloud provides you ability, especially AWS, where you can scale as per your demand in real time. So being familiar with auto scaling technologies, auto scaling mechanisms within AWS is one key area. The other key area that I would recommend is around some of the delivery methods of an application. So think of, for a simple example, web applications, uh, caching and content delivery. So these are two areas that I would recommend focusing on when you're talking about web applications. So be familiar with how a CDN, a content delivery network works, what components are part of it. Be cognizant, be hands-on with caching technology. So think of for example, Amazon Elasticache or Amazon CloudFront. These are some of the services that are positioned to deliver to those kind of requirements for your application. And then, of course, figure out with cloud, you figure out how you work with infrastructure. So even just like software within cloud, you have the ability to scale your infrastructure based on your needs. So how to develop immutable infrastructure. Uh, sorry. Work with services like CloudFormation for that. Build immutable infrastructure. Work with technologies that support CloudFormation like Terraform. So all in all, cloud provides you with several mechanisms around building a scalable and highly available architecture. It's a matter of what you pick and choose that suits best your application and works best for your customer. So, and this is actually one of the key roles of a solutions architect at AWS, having that knowledge to be able to advise and work with your customers to deliver the outcome that they're looking for.
Great. Thanks, Taz. I think those are some great insights coming from your experience and also insider insights for the community. So thanks for summing that up so well. Uh, I'll move on to the next question. And I think it's pretty critical right now, this one. Let me just get it up there. Uh, yes. So this next one is how does the book, which is AWS for Solutions Architect, how does it cover the latest AWS services and updates, such as serverless computing, analytics, machine learning, and the current hot topic, generative AI? Yeah.
So, thanks, Rahul. I can take that up. Yeah, so I will connect it with the previous question when we are talking about the uh, architecture, which is highly available and scalable. How to build that? That is very critical. And Taz has summed up it well. What the different component is required. Now, if we are taking a step further, okay, so if you planning to put your workload in cloud, either you are building from the scratch or you are migrating from the on-premises environment. The first step, you say, hey, let me to go traditional way. Okay, there is a virtual compute, okay, like EC2, okay, elastic compute. Let me try to put there and see how it work. Okay, and because we used to do that, if I am fresh out of college, I will run in my laptop. If I'm on premises, I get a machine, I run on that. And but I don't have I don't have ability to do the auto scaling there. So as Taz mentioned, once you put into cloud, I have one server, my workload is increasing, it is hitting 60% CPU. I said, okay, let's add two more because my CPU is running hot. Okay, and that's how you do the auto scaling, you cache your content. But still it involved the overhead of managing the servers, and that's what the serverless comes into the picture. Serverless doesn't means it is entirely serverless, means there for you, for the user it is serverless, right? So it means you are offloading the heavy differentiated lifting to the cloud. Okay, so AWS, like if talk about the Lambda. Okay, so Lambda is the function as a service where you take your code snippet, you throw it, you run it, you are done. If you need, if like 1,000 requests are coming or 1 million requests are coming, it will scale to that. Okay, so you don't need to manage the auto scaling and think about when I need to scale my server and all those things. Similarly, serverless is now becoming so popular because of it reduced the admin overhead. It is everywhere. Okay, so if you talked about the data warehousing like Redshift, and so that is also is become serverless, right? So in data warehousing, you don't need to manage the server. If you are getting more user, you can scale it for the user. And similarly, if you are running the container, right, Fargate is there. So all these technologies from the serverless perspective, which is going to modernize your workload tremendously, that is explained in the serverless computing. And book also explain how to choose the best, right? So which based on workload, which serverless technology is best. So even AWS has more than 200 services. Now how I can choose that? There is 20 database services, 20 analytics services. Okay, so book talk about the service and give you advice how to choose that. And uh, when today organization is looking at from the lens of how I can drive the maximum insight, ultimately everything around the data. If you are building any application, it's all about getting the data from customer and process it. Take example of Amazon.com. What you are doing, you are saying that, hey, I want to purchase this socks. So you are asking the data about socks, Amazon.com processing it and giving you back, hey, this is the price and this is how much time it is going to ship and all. So analytics become very important to understand the customer trend and drive the business outcome. And that's what book talk about, all the modern analytics components. So like I talked about end-to-end data engineering, like Athena on the serverless query tool, the glue, the serverless data processing through the Spark. Redshift is also, it has server, but it also has the serverless component. And EMR, if you have the Hadoop in the on-prem, how you will run in the cloud, benefit of the scalability and high availability. And then generative AI, everyone is hearing machine learning and Gen AI. Machine learning and Gen AI will not stand if you don't put your data in the place. And that's what the book talked about, very latest and greatest Gen AI technology. So like Amazon Bedrock. And I have to say, this is the last minute chapter we have added. Okay. Because when we are going to publish the book, at that time, lots of things have come about Gen AI. We said, okay, let's push one more week and get benefit of this. So if you are looking for the automatic code generation, Code Whisperer is there. You want to interested about the Bedrock, then all the generative AI Bedrock is there, which give you all the new models like Cloud A2 model you can use, and Cloud.ai is also competing with the Chat GTP, so you can try that. It is very good model. Then Amazon Titan model, and then Jurassic. So all these foundational model is available through the Amazon Bedrock, and that's what I'll explain in the book.
Yeah, I think it's great insights, Saurabh. It's almost 700 pages of worth of experience and knowledge that you all have put together. And like you said, for something as important and, you know, the need of the hour, generative AI at this point of time, the fact that you all managed to squeeze that in without really compromising on the value that we are offering, I think it goes to show that how it's important to, you know, experience and talk about these things at the right time. And like I think that's exactly what you've done through this book. And yeah, I think almost 700 pages of book, but it's amazing how you summed it all up in just few minutes. So thanks for sharing that, Saurabh. Yeah. John says burning the midlight oil is awesome, trust me. Yes, John. John is one of our community members, and we've had some great conversations, so it's nice to see you here, John. I think it's time to take one question from the comments. Let me see. I had seen an interesting one. Let me find that. Yeah, it's from a LinkedIn user again. And it says, do you need to be a cloud engineer to be a solutions architect? That is like, do you need to have pretty hands-on experience with cloud services?
So Taz, you can take it
Yeah,
up. You are the best
I can
person.
comment on that. Yeah. So this is, I'll build this on top of what I was talking earlier, right? Regardless of what role you perform in the cloud as a cloud practitioner, having a good foundation of the cloud, foundational knowledge of the cloud is key. I mean, that is what you use to build on top of. Whether you are a cloud engineer or an SA or technical account manager or a product manager, having that foundation is key. How you move between one role to another is defined by the expectations of that role. So, without going into a long tangent, and I see we have lots of other questions as well. Short answer to this question: do you need to be a cloud engineer to be a SA? Short answer is no. However, you do need to have a good, solid foundation of cloud fundamentals to perform any role. And then after that, moving from one role to the other is a matter of how you grow yourself and where your interest areas are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Taz, for sharing that, and hope that was useful. Unfortunately, I'm not sure of the name. It says LinkedIn user. So yeah, hopefully that was useful. We'll take another one from the audience. It's from Mario. And yeah, it says, any advice for multi-regional EKS?
So for the definitely the EKS when we are hosting the Kubernetes services or any services, okay, so we need to cognizant of the availability, and we cannot rely on, means one reason can have a very good high availability and reliability of the environment, but multi-regional environment is always help to ensure that you have if you are achieving the 100% availability or 99.99% availability, so multi-regional EKS will be beneficial for that. But going into a dive deep, I think we have the limited time here, but there is a nice book I posted a couple of week ago in my feed, and Rahul, you can talk about that, which is again 700 800 pages talking about the container CKS and how to host it multi-regional. So I will definitely put that reference here.
And
Uh,
just to follow up on that, Mario, there's lots of good resources on the AWS blog channel around deploying EKS across regions for a high availability. I would recommend checking those out.
yeah. Saurabh, are you referring to the multi-cloud book?
Uh, that book, Gigi, has
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
that Gigi
Yes.
Safian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Mastering Kubernetes by Gigi Safan. Yes, I think that's
Yes,
another
yes.
long, useful book. So, Mario, I think, yeah, if you can just connect with me on LinkedIn, I can talk to you about that in detail. And uh, Saurabh, Gigi, I can get insights from you if you have if you would like to have more discussions with us on that. Saurabh, you're right. Just looked at the clock, and uh, I think this is very insightful, but we have to move on to the next one so that we can cover some other interesting questions that I see. I think I can just quickly get to this one. Yeah, this is another important one that talks about security. And again, I see a lot of discussions around the security considerations. So, yeah, we can discuss this one. So, what security considerations and best practices does the book provide for ensuring robust and secure architectures on AWS? Before you comment on that, quickly, I saw a comment where someone said, which book are we talking about? So, this is AWS for Solutions Architect. And a big shout out to my friend Aaron, who's just engaging with people in the comment. And I think he's also shared a link there. So, yeah. Okay.
So
Back to the.
I will show the book here. Okay, so this is the book AWS for Solutions Architect we are talking about. Okay, yeah. So you see
Yeah.
the, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks, Saurabh. So
Yeah.
yeah, back to the question: what security considerations and best practices does the book provide for ensuring robust and secure architectures on AWS?
Yeah, so there is security so important. It is almost we don't think anything when, I mean, security is the first job, and even we said security is job zero. It means if you start anything, it comes even before the first job. Okay, so the book has entire, I think, 60 70 pages just written on the security, a dedicated chapter on the security. And in the book we starting with the very basics is how to manage your users in the cloud. Okay, and all identity and access management, authorization, managing the users, and then we are taking this journey to the enterprise level where how to connect with the active directory or LDAP servers. And then from the user we are shifting to the various security on the workload. Okay, and the workload perspective I will talk about, if taking architecture, the first and front at the network security, we went deep on that. We have dedicated chapter on network, so we talked about there as well, but also in the security chapter. And from network security we go and talked about the application security, protecting it from the DDoS attack, and the putting the web application firewall, talking about the intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system. Okay, and from there we go to the application level security. So there is, we talked about the user who are going to be developer, but other side who are the end user of that. So like OAuth 2 security we talked about. We talked about how to use the JW token for that. And then we are going and talking about the different security aspect of data security. So it talk about the how to manage your data key, the master key and data key, and then how to protect your data encryption and description, the different algorithm available, and how to apply them easily using the API. And overall, when we are looking end-to-end security posture, we are also talking about the cloud monitoring things. Okay, so that comes with the cloud trail where we monitoring each and every API call, and we are seeing if any suspicious activity is there, we should able to raise the alarm using the AWS config. We are using the AWS system patches, so making sure that our OS is secure, our hardware is secure. And finally, we are talking about the overall things where we can see everything in one place. So like we are using the trusted advisor, we are using the security hub, and we are using the AWS shield. So if you, I say it is covering 360-degree, and also talking about the what best practices. Okay, so never expose your bucket S3 bucket to the internet. If you want to expose, you expose through the CDN. Okay, so like CloudFront. And again, if you are talking about networking, okay, so never open your security group to the world, never open your instance to the SSH always. Okay, so there is multiple security practices we are putting, pattern and anti-pattern, both what to do and what not to do. So you will find a very deep understanding. And security, even though security has one dedicated chapter, but it is infused in each and every chapters also.
Great. Thanks, Saurabh, again for going into so much depth about uh, one of an important topics, which is security considerations and best practices. On like architectures on AWS. So yeah, thanks again for all those insights. We are almost there for the raffle now. Taz, Saurabh, if it's okay, should we do a quick raffle?
Sure, sure.
All right. Uh, yeah, I'll quickly share my screen so that we can get everyone to see this. Uh, are you able to see my screen, Saurabh, Taz?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Great. So as we can see, we've got like almost 91 entries. So this should be fun.
Mhm.
I hope it doesn't pick me or one of us, but yeah, good to see almost 91 entries. So I'm just gonna draw this and let's see who wins. Kaushik Nana, congratulations. You win an ebook copy of the book that we are discussing. And yeah, we'll come back to this again. And Kaushik, you just have to get in touch with me on LinkedIn and I'll arrange this ebook copy for you. Make sure you please do get in touch with me. Uh, yes, I think we can take some questions from the audience now. Mansi Patil says, as a fresher, how should I approach and begin with the solution architect course? What prior skills should I acquire?
Yeah, I can respond to that one, Rahul. And just for context, so I have a dual role in AWS. I'm an SA, but I also get to work with a lot of other SAs. I lead a worldwide community of essays and subject matter experts, close to around 2,000 people within the data analytics space. And this is a question that we get even within internal to AWS, who are not essays, but looking to see if an essay role is good for them. And the advice that the guidance that we provide and how that has worked out for most is essentially what I'm going to repeat over here. As a fresher, and this again goes back to, and you'll hear me saying this probably several times during this call, which is having a strong foundation in the technology domains is the is the best start that you can get. And when I say foundation, what does that exactly mean? And from a fresher, and going back to my fresher days, if someone were to ask, if I was to ask that question, the response that would have helped me was, when we talk about foundations within information technology, we are primarily talking about a few areas: storage, networking, and infrastructure. And especially in the cloud, in the days of the cloud, which where we are today, having a strong foundation, having a strong basis in these foundational areas is key. Once you have good competency in these areas, so again, storage, networking, infrastructure, application development, using these to then build up on top of where you want to go next. So you could either specialize in each of these foundational areas, or you could leverage these foundational areas into the next evolution of your journey of your career. Again, going back to my experience working in the data analytics space, so you can look to becoming a data engineer or a data analyst or a data specialist in the cloud. Regardless of which direction you choose, having a good foundation will help you build in that direction. Uh, for example, with the data systems, you tend to work with the distributed architectures. Now, the distributed architectures, distributed computing involves a lot of heavy level lifting in terms of networking and storage, right? And in order to be able to work with those mechanisms, having an intrinsic knowledge about how storage works under the hood, how networking works under the hood, is key to these areas. So, Mansi, my recommendation, my guidance as an approach to someone who's working towards an essay career, essay role, start with a strong foundational base in the core areas, and then channel your interest into a particular focus area.
Yeah. Mansi, I think again, great insights, Taz. Mansi, I hope that was useful. Uh, I'm seeing another interesting one, which is again, which is catered around the roadmap. So I think that's a good follow-up one. So I'll get that one up. So it's from Biswa Ranjan Ray, and the question is, what would be your advice for those who are currently playing a role of technical manager or technical architect, certified themselves with AWS Solutions Architect Associate, and aspiring a career as a solution architect, but don't have any project experience?
Yes. So I will take that, and definitely I will ask Taz to add on top of it. That will be very valuable. Okay. So yes, I will say the certification is the good way to capture the knowledge, and I recommend everyone is the first step to go for the certification, right? And if you are starting new, you can go for the practitioner, the basic certification, and then if you are going if you are have some experience, start with associate and then go for the professional cert. But as you said, the certification is not guaranteed that you have the hands-on experience. It show that you have discipline to learn and you have covered the breadth of the domain, so you know what different things are there. But to get the depth of the domain, you need to have some hands-on. So I will say it's not necessary that you need to gain the project experience to try out for the solution architect role, but definitely you require lots of hands-on experience. So I will say try your own project. There is so many projects available. There is so many blocks available. And if you'll ask me, I will read the AWS blogs, which are pretty depth block, and it actually most of the blogs show you how to build an application step by step. Okay, and it redirect you to GitHub repo where we called it AWS samples, where you have code and everything. So if you, whatever is your area of interest, as Tas says, suppose if you are looking for application development, try to read some serverless blog and build that hands-on experience by following them. Create your AWS accounts and build those application. If you are looking for the in data analytics, build the data engineering pipeline. Okay, so but if you do like I think some project, 7 to 8 small project, it will give you enough depth and experience and confidence to kick start your career. That's, please add more.
Yeah, sure. So thank you for that, Saurabh. This was actually this is a pretty good question, which I did want to um, double click on a little bit in terms of people who are looking towards the SA career, start of their SA career maybe, or switching from one to the other. However, not having the experience, the real world experience, the real life experience. How can you build up your portfolio to demonstrate capability and also to learn? A few key areas I want to point out, right? So, to Saurav's point, hands on experience, knowledge is definitely very helpful. How you get that is something that we can control. Not having that in your day job or just coming out of a college, it's understandable not to have that real world experience. So, in lieu of that, what I usually recommend to people is AWS has a lot of assets and events happening and available throughout the year. So, for example, AWS, we recently concluded the New York Summit. It's open to the public. It has a lot of activities that people can sign up to get hands-on experience with your peers and with AWS experts right then and there. So, my strong recommendation: if you see an event in your neighborhood, take the time to attend those. You will learn a lot from that one day. You will also gain a lot of good project experience there. You will network and peer with uh, other members in the community and just essentially organically learn a lot more. Apart from that, I mentioned we do have a lot of assets available on AWS. So if you look at our workshops library, if you look at our GitHub repository, there's a lot of content material that essays and other functions within AWS put out there with the intent of course, showing what an AWS service can do, but at the same time making it available for people to try it out. The AWS free tier is available for people who are looking to experiment with some of the services that might interest them. So, all in all, there are quite a few assets, quite a few avenues and resources available for people to looking to get that experience without having a day job to support that.
Yeah. I think yeah, these are some very useful real world tips coming in, and love that how both of you all jumped onto that one because I think that's the value behind these discussions. When you have multiple experience coming in, I think it's very useful. So again, can't thank you enough. I know after every questions, I'm thanking you. There's a reason behind it because it's the fact that you are taking efforts to share your collective knowledge on this. So yeah. Uh, I can see there are a lot of questions, and it hurts that we are not able to address all of them. So don't worry, we've come with a solution for that because I knew there are going to be a lot of questions. So this is basically our uh, yep. This is basically our Discord server where we have Saurabh pretty active, and I'll make sure Taz also joins if he hasn't already. So uh, I'm encouraging you all to just save this link, join, sign up, and just feel free to like have a chat with us. Feel free to engage with the community and ask these questions. Even after this event, I'll try to look at some of the interesting questions and try discuss with Saurav and Taz and get them answered for you. But if that doesn't happen, please don't be upset. Use that Discord link, join in, and ask any questions that you have, and we'll make sure that we'll engage with you and address all the questions, because I think the learning never stops. It reminds me of one of the videos that Saurabh had done last time around. I think it's been a couple of years. Not sure, Saurabh, if you remember. I think someone had asked, there are so many services that AWS offers. How do I remember all of them? What to use when?
Hmm.
And I like how you had responded. Uh, instead of watching like videos and random stuff, what you do is basically have the reinvent videos in front of you, and I think that helps you remember things and be up to date about uh, the different services.
Right.
And yeah, so I think that was something that stayed with me. I was watching an old video, so yeah. uh, all right, I think we can go back to some of my questions, if it's okay. Yes. Fat fingers are moving super slow. All right. Okay. Can you provide insights into the upcoming changes and updates in the best-selling Solutions Architect Handbook? Now, for those who are not aware of this, and again, some context, we get a lot of questions again. Saurabh has written multiple books on the topic because, like we discussed, there's so much to talk about and like address challenges. Uh, and when we have these multiple books, we get a lot of questions as to how these books are different. So I think Saurabh, you can address this. The question basically is, I think I already read that, so yeah, you can take this one.
Yeah. So I thought before anyone asks questions, so I will show you this. This is the book I'm talking about. Okay, Solutions Architect Handbook. Okay, and this book is in the, I think, first published in 2022. This is, sorry, 2020. This is my first book, so lots of the effort went into that and putting my experience. So first, I would like to talk about what is the difference between, I hear that question often, between the Solutions Architect Handbook and the current book we are talking about, AWS for Solution Architect. So Solutions Architect Handbook, I will definitely recommend if you are starting your career and you are thinking, hey, let's talk about the different type of the solutions architect and what they do. Okay, so book definitely go deep and talk about what kind of different solutions architect, and it is kind of the tech, the platform agnostic. It means even though I have took some examples from architectural from the AWS, but you can go and learn about the lots of concepts. Okay, so all the concepts about the principle of building a scalable, high-level architecture, secure architecture, and then along with that, what the soft skill a solution architect required, how the solution architect should document the architecture, and then it talked about the different things to optimize in terms of the performance or resilience or operational excellence and DevOps, and everything is there, and along with around 50 plus design pattern. So that was in Solution Architect Handbook. And AWS for Solution Architect is very much AWS specific, how to build the application into the AWS and root and choose the right technology. So if you'll ask me, both are the book is 600 plus pages, and you will not find a single paragraph which is overlapping. Okay, so that's what the content differentiation is there. So now, Solutions Architect Handbook has very good response, and I'm currently working on the third edition. And definitely, I get lots of feedback. There is 500 plus review in the, including the Goodreads and Amazon.com and multiple places. So we go through and see that, hey, how we can improve. And what I am doing actually, I'm adding some more architecture pattern, because that's where I see people are seeing the more value. So earlier it was around 35 to 50. I'm making it around 60 architecture pattern. So there will be one more new chapter I'm putting there. And there is a focus on the application development design patterns also, so you will see on that, and a separate chapter on the cloud native design pattern, like the serverless things we talked about. And these are the, and then you can take those pattern and develop anywhere, whatever technology or cloud platform or on premises suits to you. And then a special focus I'm putting on the generative AI. Okay, so obviously I have the full chapter on that. I'm planning to put at least talking about the different foundational model available, and how these large language model, foundational model is different, and tie back them to the machine learning and data preparation for them. So that end to end journey also I'm talking about there. And apart from that, putting up with the new technologies, whether it is IoT, and enhancing more on the quantum computing side, because I feel that after Gen AI, quantum computing is going to be a next big things, because that's bring the power which Gen AI needed to train with trillions of parameters. So, and it is complex topic to understand. So I have put a very layman language, easy to read language to understand what is the quantum computing and IoT. So apart from, I will say, enhancing the core architecture, security, and talking about more design pattern, I'm taking the journey to the latest and greatest technology, going from the very basic, like how to explain to your grandmother about the quantum computing, that kind of concept will be there, or say for generative AI, and taking it to the depth so that you can go and become a thought leader on that.
Yeah, so it's a book for all then.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Saurabh. Just cautious of time, so I'll jump on to the next one. Uh, right. So, what's your advice for building a successful solutions architect career in the cloud for both aspiring and experienced solutions architect? Again, looks like a question where it would be good to have both your quick insights. So, Taz, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. And I warned you about this. I'm going to talk about the foundational aspect of your career. So that's how I will start. Uh, Definitely, again, repeating myself at the risk of annoying some people, but getting your foundations in order is the first step. Uh, when we talk about cloud, right, it's the way the where we are today. We talk it in about it in context of different deployment models. So, like my personal example, right, I have a career spanning about 22 years of experience, out of which close to 12 I've spent working for on-premise, and then the others working in a hybrid model, so which is on-premise and cloud, and then a few years in working across cloud only. Then there are some newer enhancements to this in terms of how we see cloud adoption. So, cloud first is another deployment model. So, there are quite a few advancements with regards to how people work with the cloud. And when you say work with the cloud, it is implied that there is other models in play over here as well. So understanding one is how things are at on-premise and how things change in the cloud. Getting a good sense of that, how cloud in I mean, what is the like? Just answering the question, why would I want to move to the cloud? What is cloud giving me? And then working your way back from the value proposition of a cloud, it gives you a good sense of what's different or what's the same, and how can we work with these two together. So having a good sense, a good understanding, again, with anchoring yourself on the foundational aspects of both sides, storage, whether it's cloud or on-premise, storage, computing, network, infrastructure. These are big pieces of, regardless of which deployment pattern this is, and then applying that knowledge of how an application, for example, that touches both sides, cloud and on premise, how would that look like? And then you factor in different aspects of making that application production ready. You talk about security, you talk about performance. You talk about availability. You talk about scale. That's another element of that cloud brings into play, especially for an SA or a solutions architect. The scale at which cloud operates is very different than the scale at which on-premise operates, and even not just operates, the way it grows in and out. Cloud enables you to do that. How does that fit in all of these deployment models? So having a good sense of that, capturing what's needed to know about those. So learn and be curious. One of our leadership principles over here, I would like to call that out, and bias for action. We have a lot of content, a lot of material, a lot of resources, not just in terms of content, but people as well. I was referring to the summits and events that we hold throughout the year. We have these booths where we have people, essays, and other roles stationed at these booths to talk to people, to advise them on these kinds of questions. So I would recommend reading up on content, meeting with people who have similar interests, attending events where you can peer with AWS professionals who can answer you direct questions over here. Create a relationship who can advise you ongoing throughout your journey as a career.
Yeah.
Saurabh, if you want to add something there, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
basically
So I
foundations. Sorry, Saurabh. Basically, just to highlight, I think Taz is stressing on the importance of foundation, and I think yeah, that's pretty critical when it comes to uh, building a successful solutions architect career. Over to you, Saurabh.
Yeah. So let's talk about the technology aspect of it. So I will put a different angle, and it is more about what is the thought process you are putting when becoming a solution architect. So if I will talk about my journey, I started as application developer, and writing the code was world to me. Like I'm the center of the universe. I'm writing the code, I'm checking in, and I'm done. That's how software is running. But when I started my solution architect journey, I said, hey, this is very small part which I am doing. Actually, there is so many things to do which make application run and scale and work in the production, handle millions of users. And what does talk about? It is looking the holistic system design, not only from the coding perspective, but also from the networking and from the how we are going to scale like CDN, content distribution network, and security and all the aspect of it. So when anyone is hiring you as a solution architect, they are relying on your whole soul knowledge. Okay. And you need to act like a CIO of the company, right? So it is on your soldiers to make that application successful in production. Anyone can build application, test in the environment, it will work well, might be hundred or thousand of users. But what happen if there is a 1 million user came? Okay, what happen if in October I have just 10,000 buyers, and suddenly Thanksgiving came or Diwali came or Boxing Day came, and this 10,000 went to 1 million? Is your system going to sustain? And is you are not fending away of the users. If your website is get down, nobody is going to wait for you. There is so many competition, they will go from to other people and buy there, right? So it is a big responsibility, right? Entire company revenue and entire business depend upon you. Same if there is any security leak happen, data get hacked, then your company can get sued and it can get shut down, right? So this is a big responsibility. So when you are thinking about the solution architect career, just think of go with that mindset. This is the big responsibility. You need to take holistic view, you need to stay top of everything, and then you need to coach and mentor the people, because the network engineer going to come to you to validate if they are doing the things it is going right, or application developer come to you audit, because these enterprise applications are the big puzzle, and everyone has the puzzle pieces, and you are the person who are putting them together. Okay, so think in that perspective.
Yeah, sounds good. Uh, yeah, I saw. Just a second. Yeah. Are we, Saurabh, Taz, are we happy to take on More questions, or it would be better to take that offline? I think we still have a raffle to run, so I'll leave it up to you. Should we take another question or so, or you'd prefer doing that offline, maybe on Discord?
Means we can take a couple of questions and then go to raffle. But
Yeah,
definitely Discord we are available on the LinkedIn, so definitely you can follow and reach out. Mhm.
yeah. Jonathan Brown says, "Thank you for speaking to us today. I'm excited to keep learning about solutions architect." Uh, Thanks, Jonathan. It's nice to have you, and thanks for that lovely comment. We loved speaking to you today. Uh, Let me check. If you want to skip to some other question that apart from that I highlight, feel free to let me know. We can always discuss some of these questions later as well.
So there's
Yeah,
actually a lot of questions here which I would like to respond to, Rahul. And in the interest of time, it wouldn't be fair to pick up one and leave the others. So
yeah,
my recommendation is, like Saurabh said, available on Discord and LinkedIn. Please feel free to reach out with your
yeah.
questions, regardless of whether it's around the book or around your career. Um, we will do our best to get back to you, and maybe use the remaining time to run the second raffle, which I'm pretty sure people are waiting eagerly for.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I think that does make sense because there are so many interesting questions. It's hard to pick one. So, thanks for saving me that as.
Sure.
Right. Quickly, let me share my screen again. All right. I hope it's visible now.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can see it.
Yeah. So we had uh, Kaushik winning the first raffle. Time for the second one. Let's see who gets it. I'm drawing it again. Great. So the second winner is Balaji Kumar Vijayan. Congratulations. Again, please get in touch with me, Kaushik, Balaji Kumar, on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to arrange the ebooks for you. Uh, Again, Saurabh, Taz, one of you, if you could just pick from all the questions we've had, Biswa, Mansi, Mario, and others, do you want to pick that special third winner? Uh, you can just, if in case you recollect other names as well, just it'd be great if you could pick another third winner.
Uh, I'll uh, I'll leave it to Saurabh to do the honors there.
Yeah, Taz, I was going to put on you, but let me check.
Me
Okay,
too.
because yeah, 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 yeah. So
Good, we save time for this.
okay, okay. Let me. So I see that I can pick the third winner is Tarun Devangan.
Great. Congratulations, Tarun.
Saurabh, you have to
Uh,
tell us why you picked Tarun.
Yeah. So I think Tarun is very enthusiastic. He's not only active in the community here, but I see him very active outside between the community builders, sharing the knowledge and often talking to the peoples and helping them. So that's what I picked the Tarun, and I see on all my sessions, I see that I see his presence here, and he's always very enthusiastic about the solution architect career. So he definitely deserves to have a copy of the book. But I'm going to pick couple of more people offline, and I will ask Rahul to save the chat, and then we will reach out to you, and that will be the surprise raffle. Okay, so at least I'm thinking to give two from my side. Okay, you see, I have the piles of book here. Thanks to Packt to giving the author copy, and I will definitely like to give away some in this group. So just wait for it, and we'll come back.
Sounds great. Thanks, Saurabh, and congratulations, Tarun, for winning for winning the ebook. And like Saurabh said, I think this is going to continue. We are going to be there, addressing your queries, engaging with you about what challenges you face and how we, I mean, like industry leaders and experts like Taz, Saurabh, like we would love to help you in any way possible. So let's keep in touch on Discord and also on our respective LinkedIn's. And yeah, I think this is where, Saurabh, Taz, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time from your busy schedule early morning. I know you're here talking to us, to the community, to help them. So uh, big thanks, and I hope we continue doing this, and I look forward to more such discussions and sessions. A special shout out to Aaron, who's been pretty busy. He's a good friend and a colleague who's been trying to keep up with the questions and comments that are coming in. So thanks, Aaron, Tanna. And last but not the least, the lovely audience. Thank you so much for all your engagement. I mean, I made a post about it, and with Taz and Saurabh's help, so many people reposted. That goes to show that we have such a vibrant community, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you. And yeah, please take care. Hopefully, we'll meet again. And take care. Until next time. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks, Saurabh.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Any final thoughts, Taz, Saurabh? Sorry, I forgot that. Just short. Keep it short. I know we have already exceeded the time.
Just really short. Happy to be here. Thank you for all the questions. I actually saw some familiar names who have had reached out to me on LinkedIn. I would encourage the others who are looking for more clarity and more guidance. Please reach out. At the best, we'll respond to you. At the worst, we'll point you in the right direction.
Excellent, Saurabh.
Happy to engage here, and again, I love coming into these LinkedIn live channels and talk. Okay, so I think this time a little bit gap. I think almost 3-4 months time it took me, but have to love to have more engagement like that and enjoy the questions audience are asking. And again, as that says, I'm always available. Reach out over Discord, LinkedIn. Okay, and definitely will put our best effort to help you.
Great. Awesome. Some excellent comments there. Goes to show, I think this was great. So, all right. Won't keep everyone longer. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.